webinar toolbar for, so I will open it up for questions at the end. If anyone has any questions, we can certainly take care of those then. As it relates to ClickDimensions, what really differentiates us or makes us unique is that we are very specialized as it relates to marketing automation companies. There's a lot of marketing automation and email marketing companies out there that deal with every CRM under the sun, deal with a lot of different tools as it relates to business process. But with ClickDimensions, we are laser focused on marketing automation for Dynamics CRM. So we do one thing and we do it very well. That's marketing automation, like I said, inside of Dynamics CRM. And what really makes us unique is we're the only solution that is actually embedded natively inside of Dynamics. So you literally cannot tell that you're even using two different solutions. We have designed our solution to look and feel just like Microsoft Dynamics CRM, so there's really no way to tell where CRM ends and where ClickDimensions begins. And the whole point for that is really efficiency and cohesiveness. We really want everyone to be working from both the sales and marketing perspective and even a customer service perspective, all from within the CRM, and have access to the same data as it relates to the prospect, customer, lead journey, the different interactions they have, both from a high level and at an individual level on the CRM contact record. So I'll quickly start with our feature set here. We offer, like I said, full marketing automation. Email marketing is obviously going to be the backbone of any real digital marketing strategy at this point. And we offer 4 different ways to actually design emails, 4 different ways to actually send those emails out. All of these analytics are going to be pushing back into your Dynamics CRM in real time. Then we get to the web intelligence, and I know that's a big part of the artists group invitation that went out, how we're actually tracking site visits, different page views, form captures in real time, how to identify certain companies that are visiting your site, and then all of the contacts that are actually associated with that same IP address as well. And also connecting visitors to their CRM records. So I will touch on all of that stuff, but that's going to be kind of really tracked with the web intelligence. We are tracking both known and anonymous users, or visitors, and I will talk about the distinction between a known and anonymous visitor once we get into the live demo. We're kind of tying all of these interactions together with lead scoring, right? So you guys will be able to go in and prioritize the different leads that relate to the different interactions that are taking place. So if someone opens an email, that may be worth 3. If they click on a link, that may be worth 5, right? If they come back to your website, you can give them a certain score for that. You can score different pages as well. So if you prioritize one page, like a careers or a pricing page over a careers page, for instance, you can differentiate the scores there. And over time, these lead scores add up. You can pull them through to the contact records in CRM or the lead records, which makes it very easy to build out dashboards around, contacts owned by me that have a lead score over 50, have been on the website in the last week, and have opened at least 3 of our last 5 emails, right? So you can get very granular, and that's another great point about ClickDimensions being inside of CRM, is that we are able to actually have access to all of the CRM data, and vice versa. The CRM has access to all of the ClickDimensions data points, and you can use the power of CRM to aggregate data based on all of our interactional information that we're pushing in real time as well. So that's a big thing about it, is because we're inside CRM, as someone is interacting with emails or visiting the site or submitting forms, all of that data is going to be coming into your CRM in real time. Now, as far as the marketing automation piece, we have what's called the nurture marketing, or our campaign automation builder. This is very quickly becoming kind of the bread and butter of the ClickDimensions solution, really kind of one of the most widely used features, just because you can really incorporate all of these different features or functions into a campaign automation to really automate any type of business process or workflow that you would like. So there's really 2 main goals that ClickDimensions has, and that's to automate or streamline a lot of these more manual digital marketing processes, and secondly, it's to really bridge the gap not only between sales and marketing, but also between kind of the hodgepodge of solutions that most digital marketers are using, by bringing all of that functionality under one platform inside of the CRM. So we're also doing SMS. Out of the box, we integrate with 3 SMS providers: Twilio, Bulk SMS, and MessageNet. You would create and send all of your SMS from within CRM, and that data is also going to push back into CRM. Because once again we are inside Dynamics, we work very cohesively with some of the out-of-the-box features that Dynamics 365 and CRM offers. So the campaign tracking, the marketing lists, makes it really easy to segment to different demographics based on, a multitude of different things that you have in CRM, purchase history, demographic data, things of that nature. But the campaign tracking is really, really important because this allows you to tie any of our marketing actions, omni-channel, back to a CRM campaign. And this allows you to not only track metrics on ROI, but to compare different campaigns against each other, and do a multitude of things there. So I can literally show you in our CRM instance how much one web form on our site has generated in revenue over the last 30 days, 90 days, last 6 years, whatever we would like to see. So campaign tracking is very important. We also have a web content suite that allows you to design your own content, your own web forms, surveys, and landing pages, and publish those online. A lot of our customers that come on board already have existing web forms that they are happy with. So we do have form capture that will allow you to actually tie into existing web forms using webhooks, and then we can automatically pull that data into CRM, trigger automated actions based on those form submissions as well. So that's really big. The social discovery piece is something that is really growing at a very fast pace for us. This used to just be a link between the individual contact record and their social platforms, right? Which we still have that link on the contact records based on the email address you have in CRM. It will create a link to that individual's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, if they are using that same email address. We now have the ability to post to Facebook from within CRM, and by the end of this month, you will be able to post to LinkedIn, Twitter, and Google Plus in addition to Facebook. Very shortly, by the end of July, we will actually have social engagement coming, and that's going to be the equivalent of Microsoft social listening. So they will work hand in hand very well together. We will be able to pull in metrics around interactions with social posts, people mentioning you or sharing your different statuses, can also be pushed down to the individual contact record as well, which will be very, very informative. So that being said, lastly, we'll jump to event management. We work with several event management companies out of the box. We have Eventbrite, GoToWebinar, WebEx, and Cvent. And so you can automatically create these events in CRM, track the different interactions, track the attendance, all in CRM, and then automatically trigger marketing lists to be created based on that, drip nurture campaigns based on attendance. All of those things can be automated based on someone attending or not attending an event, right? So some cool things we can do there. And then training and support is really one of our largest things, especially in APAC. We have really truly great support people, great training people, and it's available 24/7 at no additional cost. So that's a huge thing. We have about a 15-minute response time, so we're very responsive. The next slide is just a quick representation of the native aspect of us being in CRM. And throughout this webinar, you will probably hear me say that many times, and that's really the ultimate value prop of ClickDimensions, is that we are built right inside of CRM, and we're the only solution that actually offers this level of integration and kind of cohesiveness. So as you can see, all of our entities are going to be built right into CRM and going to look exactly like the CRM entities as well. So if you're already using Dynamics CRM, the learning curve is very small. Even if you are not, it still is, because you're just going to really have to learn how to use one solution. It's not logging into 2, 3 separate solutions and trying to really learn how to use all of them. And this is a slide that kind of represents that, right? So I always say we're not only trying to bridge the gap between sales and marketing by bringing everyone inside CRM with access to the same data, but we're also trying to really bridge the gap between all of these different solutions that most of our digital marketers are using before they start using ClickDimensions, right? So we brought all of this functionality inside of one tool in your CRM, and it just makes things a lot easier. As far as the architecture of our solution, it really is the best of both worlds. We are built in the Microsoft Azure cloud, and we have zero access to any of the CRM data, and our servers are doing all of the heavy lifting. So there's no latency issues. It's not going to bog down your CRM, and it's just a one-way flow of information down into your CRM. So as people are opening and clicking emails, as people are visiting the website, submitting forms, that data is going to come into our solution in the cloud, and we're going to push it down into your CRM in real time. So You can actually set up campaign automation workflows that will, can notify people, can automate lead channeling based on, what information they've entered into the fields, based on maybe geographic region or based on the name of the company, things like that. So you can automate all of those different things, and I will demonstrate that here shortly. Quickly, some of the awards and certifications that we have. The one that I like to focus on most is this one. We are the only marketing automation tool that is certified specifically for Microsoft Dynamics, in addition to being the only one that is built natively inside of it. So that's a really big thing for us. I can't tell you guys enough that if you're using Dynamics CRM and you're looking to do any type of digital marketing, at least checking out ClickDimensions and our capabilities is really a no-brainer, because there's no one out there that is as focused as us on marketing for specifically Dynamics. We have a great team of people that are not only experts at digital marketing, but they are all certified specifically on Microsoft Dynamics CRM as well. So our team is really experts at CRM and ClickDimensions and digital marketing as a whole. This last slide is just to kind of demonstrate some of our customers and how pliable the tool is. It's very much like Dynamics CRM in that it is very dynamic. It can really be applied to really any business model. We work with small businesses, nonprofits, mid-market companies, enterprise level, multinational corporations, and so the tool scales very well both to small and mid and large size companies, and we work with businesses across every vertical you can imagine. I mean, retail, nonprofit, financial services, government, education. There's really no vertical that we are not involved in. So with that being said, I will go ahead and jump in to the live instance of our Dynamics 365. And just kind of do a high-level overview, like I was saying. At the end, we'll have a few minutes for questions if anyone has any. So the first thing that you'll notice here is the Dynamics 365 toolbar here. And so we'll jump in and I'll kind of show you. You have your sales entity, you'll have your marketing entity, where you can find all of the ClickDimensions features and functionality under the marketing entity, but we can also set up this ClickDimensions entity for you, which I prefer because it kind of segments out all of our different features and aligns them with the ones that they are most aligned with. So either one of those will work, but what I will show you first is kind of a great example of why it's so important to have your marketing tool inside of your CRM, and that is because you're able to use your CRM's database to really aggregate all of these data points. So you can see all of these different dashboards that we have created around some of the ClickDimensions data points, sales dashboards, forecasting revenue dashboards, marketing dashboards. This one particularly is all around our newsletter campaigns. So it will show you the last two newsletters that were sent out, the May and the June newsletter. It's going to show you the deliveries, opens, clicks, unsubscribes, and spams here in this bar graph. Below that, it will show you another graph that talks about our newsletter opt-ins by month, going all the way back to our inception in 2011. Right, so you can see how we've trended ever since we first started the business as far as opt-ins by month with our newsletter, unsubscribes by month, going back to the same period of time, February 2011. Newsletter email deliveries, social sharing metrics here, and then also top 5 link clicks. Now, the great thing about Dynamics CRM is it's so customizable. So all of these dashboards are built out and customized based on what we want and the data that we prioritize and how we want to see it. And so you will also be able to build out, using Advanced Find, these same types of dashboards around these same ClickDimensions data points. So the first thing I'm going to jump into is our email editor, and then I will jump into actually the metrics that we push in after an email is sent out, and then I'll talk a little bit about Campaign Automation Builder and some of the analytics that we can do as far as tying visitors back to the companies they work for, tying different visitors back to their CRM records, showing what they were actually looking at when they were on the site, all of those different things. And then lastly, we will touch on web content. So with our email editor, we have, like I said, 4 different ways to actually design emails, and we have 4 different ways to actually send emails out. So let me grab this quick template that I use for demo purposes only, and I use this because it's a very simple template. I'm going to show you guys a few examples of the newsletters that my marketing team has actually created, and you'll see they're a lot more talented at building out content than I am. So With the editor types here, you'll see that we have the drag and drop. This is going to be the most prevalently used editor, very marketer friendly, user friendly. We also have custom HTML, which you can use to import pre-coded emails. You can actually code emails inside of our solution as well. We have the freestyle editor, which is kind of a WYSIWYG, or what you see is what you get, and then the block editor. And the block editor is the same way that our web content is created. It just gives you different blocks, and then you select which type of content you would like to go there, whether it's text, an image, maybe a survey or a form, etc. So with that being said, I'll jump into the editor. We can also send emails 4 different ways. We have your typical EDM or bulk send. We also have automated emails as part of larger campaign automations, or like autoresponders for form submissions. And the last 2 are really more sales-oriented emails. We have what's called an inbox cast, which is an email that is sent from your Outlook to a CRM marketing list, right? So the emails will still be sent through our servers, but they just look like regular marketing or regular sale, a one-off email from your Outlook, and you can send that to 100 or 1,000 people at one time, and you can actually use free marker codes to dynamically pull in any field in CRM to any type of these emails that you're sending out. So that's really helpful. And the last way to send emails is called a quick send, and that's any template that you design. You can make that sendable as a one-off from any individual contact record. So you can go to someone's record and just send them a quick template as a one-off send and track whether they opened it, whether they clicked on it. And all of those emails are going to be trackable as far as opens, clicks, unsubscribes, those types of things. So once you jump into the actual editor, the drag and drop editor, you'll have your 3 tabs: layouts, content, and styles. So you'll come in here and select the tab that is right for you as far as the different layouts that you want, or what's most similar to what you're trying to design. Once you have that, you'll jump to the content tab, and very easily we can just start dragging and dropping different pieces of content in. We can pull in dividers. Like I said, if I wanted to pull in some social sharing links, we can do that. Now, these are the actual social links that would link back to your social platforms, right? So once you send this email out, if you want someone to come back to your Facebook or your Instagram, you would just come here and plug in those custom URLs as they relate to your social networks, and these would link back to like I said, those companies' social networks. Now, if you wanted to actually have people sharing the content of this email on their social networks, you could add these social sharing links, and then once they receive the email, they would just click any one of these and it would automatically help them post this email on their social network. So that's very helpful as well, and we're tracking all of that back into CRM. So once you actually get the email designed the way that you would like it, we have a preview tab here where you can come in and see the desktop preview versus the mobile preview and what that's going to look like. But you can also do a few more things here inside the editor. You can style, we can really customize anything that you want. We can come in here to these social links down here, and you can change the colors, you can change the alignments, the shapes. If you want to optimize it for mobile, you can do that as well. So our analytical scripts are going to be tracking all of the visitors, all of the people that are opening emails, and you're going to get very concrete metrics around, hey, most of your emails are being opened on desktop or mobile. They're being opened on this browser, this device type, etc. So you'll be able to fine-tune your content based on the majorities there. But like I said, the preview will also help as far as desktop versus mobile. And then we have what's called an inbox preview, which is very helpful from a marketing standpoint, because this will actually show you how the content is going to render on over 40 different devices, browser types, and operating systems, which is really neat. And like I said, we are tracking all of that data around visitors and email interactions that you can build out dashboards around and see what percentage of our visitors are coming from an Apple phone using Google Chrome, and then you can kind of fine-tune things around that. We also have a spam filter that's built into the app, which is really nice because this looks at the subject line, kind of the wording, the design of the email, and will let you know based on those factors how likely this is to get caught in any of the industry-wide spam filters. So a lot of helpful stuff here around the email editors. But I want to now jump into what the metrics look like after we send an email out, right? So I will go to our newsletter dashboard, really quickly, and I'm going to show you guys our main newsletter and what some of the metrics around that look like, both from a high level and from a low level. So again, you'll be able to go in and build out dashboards around all of your different types of email sends, and those will be accessible right here from the dashboard pin. So give me 1 second here. Let's see. There we go. All right, so I'm going to jump to our newsletter dashboard. Sorry about the delay there. And what you'll see here is this is going to display all of the newsletters that we've ever sent, going all the way back to our inception, February 2011, right? So you can see 83 different newsletters here have been sent out. And the cool thing about ClickDimensions is that we push data in at multiple levels. So we push it in at a high level or a macro level for the marketers, but also at a micro level for the individuals that are or the revenue generators, right? So they can see the individual interactions with all of the content that's going out. So you can see, going back many months back to our initial newsletters, kind of the overview numbers, deliveries, opens, unique opens, clicks, unsubscribes, and bounces, the date that the actual content went out on. But we can also drill down into this record and see a multitude of other things as well. Excuse me. All right. So what you'll see here is this is going to be the main newsletter email send record. And if you were creating a new email, this is where you would come. You would go new. You can see the status here is already sent. You would tie it to the email template that you've already designed, put in your subject line, tie it to a campaign so that we can measure the metrics. And then you would actually come in and say, hey, who do we want to send this email from? Do we want it to come directly from our record owner, or do we want it to come from a certain entity or a certain company or individual? And then when do we want to send this content? Do we want to send it immediately, or do we want to send it on a certain day and time? And then we would select our Dynamics CRM marketing list that we want to send this content to. One big thing here is we're the only solution that can send to both a contact and lead entity at the same time, and so that saves marketers a lot of time. Next here you'll see the actual content of the email. You can see this was designed with the drag and drop editor. Again, my marketing team is a lot better at creating content than I am, so you can see here what the main newsletter looked like. Really nice looking newsletter, talks about a lot of the different events that we have going on around the world, some of the different awards that we've won, different people that have just come on board. So you can see the content there, also the text version. So if someone receives this via an old BlackBerry or maybe a flip phone, this is what they're going to see. And then lastly, you can see split testing or A/B testing information, if that applies, and then the actual email statistics area. So we have just actually added last month an email statistics report, which is very helpful, and it essentially just kind of shows this same information. So you can see overall performance here, but if we go here to the ellipses, I will really quick run this report and kind of show you guys the different tabs and data that you can access. The email statistics report, as I mentioned, is something that just came out last month. People really love this. It gives you a full breakdown of data around really any email send that takes place. It's going to give you a multitude of tabs that you can jump from to kind of get different perspectives on the data as it relates to this specific May 2017 newsletter. So the overview will give us those same metrics that we just viewed. Give me 1 second as this renders. My apologies, my CRM is running just a little slow today. So you're going to see the overall performance, which gives you total number of people on the marketing list, excluded emails, and then total number of messages sent, interaction rates, bounce rates, unsubscribe rates. We have click rates unique in total, open rates unique in total, and then the deliverability metrics here. We can also see email clients tab, which is going to show us, again, the top types, top devices that were used to open the email, desktop versus mobile on all of the unique opens. We have a conversions tab, which will show you the deliveries, unique clicks, unique opens. It will also tell you how many people came back to our website from this email. how many people actually submitted a form or a survey if we had one embedded in the email, and then the overall web activity here. The click report is great from a sales perspective because it's going to list every single link that is in any one email that goes out. And let's say this was our June promotions link, and I wanted to see as a salesperson every single person who clicked that. It will generate a report of every individual who actually clicked that link, and you can jump straight to their CRM record right from this report. So very, very helpful there from a sales perspective as well. And then the recipients tab will list all 19,000 people who received this email, and will allow you to go in here and sort by opens. You know, if you want to see who opened it the most, if you want to see who clicked it the most, if we wanted to see a specific individual and their interactions, we could see that here, but we could also see it on their contact record in CRM as well, which is where I'm heading next. And then the heat map, which is also great for marketers. This is going to show the content as it was sent out, and then it will list every single link that was on the piece of content and what percentage of clicks each link actually received or garnered. So you can see the majority of clicks on this were people actually downloading our ebook and submitting that web form there. And then lastly, we have the social sharing tab, which will tell you who shared this on any of the social sites. So really, really cool with the email system. I want to really quickly jump to analytics, and I'm going to show you an individual contact record first and kind of how we're pushing this information down into the contact record, and then I will show you kind of the macro level analytics that's geared more toward the operations side and the marketing side, opposed to more of the revenue generation and kind of sales. So I am going to jump into Brad Burke's contact record. He is one of our employees here at ClickDimensions, and I will be able to show you guys some of the different things that we're doing on the contact record. So ClickDimensions is very unique in that you can push interactional data down into the contact records as it relates to that specific individual, right? And we do that using iframes. So give me 1 second here. I apologize again for my CRM running slow today, guys, so bear with me. All right, here we go. So we'll jump into Brad's record, and you'll notice a couple things right off. We pull the lead score field into the contact record, which is a good thing because, like I said, that allows you to go in and build dashboards out around, you know, contacts owned by me with a lead score over X, you know, with a certain amount of email interactions over the last, you know, X amount of time, and who has, you know, been on the website at least 3 times in the last month. You can get very granular there as it relates to the different contacts you want to see, and I have a multitude of contact dashboards built out around the different needs that I have. But you'll see Brad's contact record, you'll see his lead score here, and then most importantly, what you'll notice is going to be down toward the bottom of the record here is where we're pushing in some of this interactional information. If I can get this to scroll down, here we go. So what you'll notice here is that the 3 things we prioritize are posted web forms, email interactions, and website visits. But you can push any of the ClickDimensions data points down into the contact records, forms, you know, forms, SMS interactions, any of those things. So we can see here that every single web form Brad has ever posted on our site, we can see the name of the web form, we can see the campaign it was tied to, whether or not it was a successful submission, and then also when he actually submitted that form. We can also see every single email that Brad has ever received on our website, or excuse me, ever received from our email service. We can see the subject of the email, we can see the lead score, whether or not it was delivered, whether he opened it, clicked it, marked it as spam or unsubscribed, and then when it was created. So we can scroll through all 779 of these records. You can see there's one that he opened and clicked. There's another that he opened, clicked, marked spam. So you can see a multitude of different things here inside of CRM right on the contact record, and this is very, very beneficial when you're really trying to, you know, nurture a lead or see who's ready to purchase, things like that. We can also see all of the different page views. We can see all of the individual pages on the site that Brad is on. We can see the type of browser he's coming from, the device type, operating system, and if he's not bouncing from the pages, we can see the actual duration in seconds that Brad is spending on each page. So our roadmap He was there for 43 seconds on February 27th. Social posting through Facebook connector, he was there for 82 seconds on February 21st at 10:35. So you can see all this data, and all this information is going to be coming in real time as well as the visits are happening. So now I want to jump into the analytical side of things and kind of talk a little bit about anonymous visitors versus known visitors and kind of the distinction there, and also show you guys some of the analytical dashboards that we have built out. Now we're tracking here, you can see this is our active visits dashboard. This is every individual visitor that is actively coming to our site in order that they actually visited. So we can see active visits, inactive, we can see recent leads that have visited, recent contacts that have visited. So if we want to see only the contacts that are in our CRM that have visited, we can see a list of all of those here. It's going to have those in sequential order. If we want to see all of our visits by just people that came from email, we have a dashboard for that. So you can see all the different analytical dashboards we have. You can get very granular when you talk about marketing analytics, as far as visits from our pay-per-click ads today with Bing, visits from our Google pay-per-click ads in the last 30 days, what kind of traction are we getting, what kind of ROI are we getting out of these marketing dollars. Same thing with social sites, right? If we wanted to figure out, hey, where do we need to invest our social media marketing dollars over the next 90 days? Well, let's go look and see which social sites sent us the most visitors over the last year, over the last 6 months, so we can go in and easily pull a report around that. So the difference between a known visitor and an anonymous visitor is going to be interactions with content, right? So a known visitor is someone who has either opened or clicked an email, submitted a web form or a survey, and at that point we're going to tie the cookie that we're putting on their IP address to their email in CRM, and we will then be able to see all of their previous visit history and all of their subsequent visit history. And so I want to quickly show you guys an example of kind of how our web forms work and what it looks like on the front end. And then how we're pushing some of this data into CRM in real time. So when you go to our website, we have a lot of these different ebooks that are really used as gated content, right, to kind of gather leads. If someone's using Microsoft Dynamics CRM and they want to understand how to market better with CRM, they would download this ebook. It talks about what ClickDimensions can do to help them with, kind of streamline that process. But I will show you guys an example here of what kind of a landing page looks like and then what a form looks like. So we designed this landing page with our ClickDimensions landing page designer, and then we embedded this web form on the landing page itself using just a widget script. So I will go in here and we can go ahead and submit this web form. And once we do this, what you guys will notice is that this data is going to instantaneously show up inside of Dynamics CRM. And if this was part of a larger campaign automation, which it actually is, there's an autoresponder email that's going to send me a link to my ebook as soon as I submit this web form. And so what you'll notice is once the form is submitted, the content that pops up after submission actually says, thank you for submitting the form. You will receive your ebook shortly. Please call us now on this number if you want to speak further. So what we can do now is jump right into our ClickDimensions instance here, and we will go to posted forms. And what you'll see is, again, because we're in CRM, we have a ton of dashboards built out around the different type of posted forms that we want to see, right? This happens to be the posted forms by location, but you can see, there's a ton of different, demographics or segments that you can build out around what type of submissions you would like to see. But the coolest part is, about us being inside of CRM is that everything comes into it in real time. So you can see 6/14/2017 at 9:39 p.m. Sam Wheeler downloaded the campaign automation ebook. So, everything happens in real time, which is obviously what you want. Lastly, I want to quickly touch on two things, the campaign automation builder and the web content. And I think we have about 10 or 15 more minutes before we open it up for questions. So I'm going to jump into, you can see the campaign automations. We have a total of 505 different workflows that are built out. There's a ton of applications for this campaign automation builder. It can really automate any type of business process, you know, from pre-sales drip nurture campaigns to onboarding processes to cross-sells, upsells. You can automate these cross-sell and upsell emails based on previous purchase history if your point of sale system is connected to CRM. There's just a multitude of things that you can do. So what I'm going to demonstrate now is just a pretty simple but very effective example of a campaign automation. And this is just kind of a pre-sales drip nurture campaign that is going to be completely automated, right? So what you'll notice here is we have a couple of different branches that these people are going to go down depending on you know, how they interact with the content. And the coolest part about the campaign automation builder is it's infinite. You know, you start with a blank canvas, and we're actually starting, I believe at the end of July, we will have some templates that come out of the box, and you would just go in and fill out, you know, the variables as it relates to the different workflows. But you can really build out as big or as intricate of a workflow as you would like. The current triggers that will start or kick off a workflow are someone submitting a web form, someone's updating their subscription management, right, or opting in or out of certain marketing lists via an opt-out link in an email, someone submitting a survey, opening or clicking on an email, either one, and then being added to a marketing list, either automatically through a CRM workflow or a manual add to a marketing list. These are the 6 ways to trigger or kick off an automated workflow. The actions that can actually take place inside of these workflows, which are all automated, are sending emails, adding to marketing lists, which, remember, is important because this is a trigger as well as an action. So this can trigger an entirely different concurrent workflow to take place. We can remove people from marketing lists, assign to owners, notify those users in CRM, create tasks for follow-up. One of our really big ones is being able to trigger a CRM workflow. You can really accomplish pretty much anything with this, you know, creating opportunities, closing them out, just a multitude of things there. Notify entire teams of people. We can also even send SMS. Very shortly, you will be able to incorporate social posting into these automations, which I think will be very helpful as well. And then between all of these actions, we can use wait timers or date timers. You can wait specific amounts of time, or you can do things on certain dates at certain times. So let me kind of explain how this specific workflow actually operates. And so someone would be added, a contact or lead would be added to a marketing list, either automatically through a bulk ad or through a CRM workflow, or here manually, and they're going to go into the series. And inside the series are where all of the actions, the automated actions, take place. So we'd have email 1 through 4 going out automatically over 3 different weeks, right? And like I said, you would come in here and just tie these different email templates back to what you wanted to design. You would select, do we want these to dynamically come from the CRM record owner, or do we want to send them all from one contact or one entity like a business? You would be able to decide. But all of those are going to be automated based on whether or not someone clicks, right? It doesn't matter if they open. The way that we have this specific workflow set up is whether or not they click any of those first 4 emails is going to determine which path they are routed down. If they do click, they will go down the green or the positive path to the lead click series, where we're going to create a task, notify a user, and then assign them to that user in CRM for follow-up. And that's all going to happen automatically. Now, if they do not interact with any of the first 4 emails, they're going to go down the negative or red path to the lead did not click. Here we're going to send them 4 more emails, you know, over 3 more weeks, or maybe 6 more weeks, whatever cadence you guys think is best. And the same basic principle is going to apply. If they click on any of those next 4 emails, that is going to route them up the positive path to the lead click series, where once again we're going to add them to a marketing list, assign them to someone, and then create a task for follow-up. If they never actually click on any of the first 8 emails, they're going to go down the negative path completely to the add to re-engagement series. And in this series, we're going to add them to a marketing list, right, which is also a trigger. And this is going to trigger a very similar workflow, very similar kind of sales nurture campaign to go off maybe 10 months or 12 months down the road automatically, based on the fact that they didn't interact with any of these first 8 emails on the first nurture program. So hope that makes sense to everyone. We also have a statistics tab from a high level. This is going to show the marketers and the operations people that need to know, hey, what percentage of people ended up where? What percentage were started at this trigger or at this trigger? How many people are active in any one series at any given period of time? How many people have finished each series? So this is really going to give you a good understanding of after the fact, how well that workflow performed. And then you will also have a participants tab. This will list out individually every single individual, hundreds or thousands that are in this workflow. You can actually query them here, and if you can go in and pause, stop, or resume them on an individual basis, right? So let's say someone, converts in the middle of the second series there after the sixth email. You'd want to go in and pause or stop that workflow to prevent them from receiving any more content, right? So that is the campaign automation builder. Like I said, it's very dynamic. You can really use it to build out any type of business process or automate any type of business process that you would like. And so we have, a ton of clients that are using that in a multitude of really creative and cool ways. The last thing I want to show really quickly is the web content side of things. And this is going to be with our block editor. And just kind of want to show you guys what this looks like on the back end. You all already saw an example of what our landing page and web form look like on the website after they have been designed, but wanted to really quick show an example of what the block editor looks like. And we're actually, I think by July or August, we will be bringing drag and drop functionality to the web content side of things as well. So we're really looking forward to that. The block editor is very easy to use and very user-friendly as well. And one thing that we did just add to the block editor is the code editor. And so this really allows you to fine tweak the design on some of these forms, surveys, and landing pages. So for a survey here, you'll have your survey questions and your different survey components that you can pull in and out. And we have a multitude of ways to gather information in surveys, right? Radio buttons, text boxes, the star system. And you can just drag and drop these entities wherever you need them. So if you wanted to pull them in between two other ones, you can easily do that. Once you have everything set up as you would like, you can preview the form. Excuse me, the survey in this case, you can preview. The preview is going to show you what it's going to look like on desktop. You can make sure everything is functionable, make sure the checkboxes work, the star system. And then after that, you can also look at the code editor. If you wanted to make fine tweaks to the CSS, to the HTML, or the Java, you can do that. And what's neat about this is it will actually render the preview or the changes in real time as you're making these changes. And so you can refresh this here and it will actually change the preview to show the changes that you've made right here inside this box. You don't have to keep coming back to preview it after the fact. So the code editor is very helpful. That's something, like I said, that we added recently that people have really loved. And then lastly, the different options to embed this content. You can embed surveys, landing pages, or web forms as custom URLs. You can embed it as a link on a page, on a landing page or a website, or even embed it as an iframe inside of an email, on a web page, on a website, whatever you would like, or as a widget. So a multitude of options there. The last thing I will talk about as it relates to our web content is there's a multitude of automated actions that you can assign to the individual pieces of web content. So one survey can have all of these automated actions attached to it. One web form can as well, one landing page. But these are completely different automated actions in the campaign automation builder. So I just want to be clear about that. So with this specific survey, once it's submitted, we're going to send an autoresponder email to this person who submitted it, thanking them. We can automatically add them to a marketing list, signifying that they have actually completed this survey. And then we can assign them to a user or even an entire team, and then notify that user and create a task for follow-up based on, how they actually answered that survey. So all of these things can be automated as it relates to the individual piece of web content here. So I hope everyone kind of stayed with me there, and hope everyone that made sense to everyone. But I would like to open it up now for questions. If anyone does have questions about anything, I'm happy to answer them. You can use the questions feature on the GoToWebinar toolbar. If you do have any questions, happy to answer those for you. I will jump over really quickly to the ClickDimensions pricing page just to show you guys, in case anyone is interested. We price exclusively based on email volume. So you have unlimited users. It's never going to cost extra, and all of our features are included with all of our pricing tiers except the base. So the base is geared more toward people that just want to do, some general email marketing, but also have some web tracking, lead scoring, web forms. But standard and up are going to have all of the features and all of the functions included. But the only thing that really differentiates on our price is going to be the email volume. So I appreciate everyone for jumping on. We don't have any questions yet, so I'll wait just maybe a couple more minutes for a few questions in case anyone has any. But if not, I sure appreciate very much everyone jumping on, and thank you again to Artist Group and Margaret for putting this webinar together. We had quite a good turnout, so that was good. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you need anything in addition as far as a more personalized demo, or if you're interested in maybe getting a tailored demo kind of around your business model, or have questions, please reach out to either Margaret or myself directly, and we're always happy to help. So I'll wait maybe just a couple more minutes for questions, and then we will go ahead and end the session. But once again, thank you everybody, and have a great week as well. Yep, Margaret, that's a good point. I can show the IP organization. So we actually have two different ways to track IPs. We have a content pack with Power BI, and I appreciate you actually reminding me about that, Margaret. So with Power BI out of the box, you will have this content pack that will show you deliveries around emails. It will have visit metrics around referring type, web forms by month, but we're also tracking all anonymous visitors. And you can also look at this same data inside of CRM. I prefer to look at it in Power BI because it maps everything out geographically, which is pretty cool, because a lot of times, from an SDR perspective or a sales development rep, when I first started with ClickDimensions, a lot of times you're trying to schedule these demos and you're like, hey, I want to figure out who all these anonymous visitors that are coming to my website are. So you can really drill right down to street level on a lot of these anonymous visitors. And we also have, we're tracking the IP addresses. So depending on the size of the company, a lot of times these larger companies will have their own IP address registered to that entity instead of the actual ISP or the internet service provider. So I will show you guys in CRM what that looks like, but in Power BI, it's really cool because you can drill all the way down and Google, hey, what business is at the corner of Costas and Hogan's Road, just north of Melbourne there. So it's a lot of times a great way to figure out, who's coming to your site. And then once you figure out what company that is, you can also see on the IP address area all related IP organizations or all related people that are coming from that same IP address, which is really, really cool as well. Because that's what's going to allow you to see how much traction you're actually getting out of any one company, right? So with these IPs, like here's a Melbourne IP, Vocus Connect International Backbone. A lot of these are going to be more ISP or internet service providers, but if you have large enough companies, you'll be able to see, some of these that are actually coming from the certain companies. But like I said, most of the time you're going to get the internet service provider, Telstra, as well. But you get the email, you get the IP addresses, and then you can go in with this IP address and look at any of the other visitors that have actually come from that same IP address. So that's very helpful as well. But when you're looking at the analytical side of things with ClickDimensions, you can look at individual page views, the IP organizations, the anonymous visitors, and each one of these views, again, you can build out all kinds of dashboards around, right? So we can see inactive anonymous visitors, inactive, recent anonymous, top anonymous visitors for the last 7 days, just this week, last 2 weeks, and you can build out your own custom dashboards however you would like. But you can see this is a great one, University of South Wales, right? So we know where this person's coming from. They're an educational university. That lead score is 204, right? So I can drill into this record and I can see what this person at the University of New South Wales was actually looking at on our site, right, when they were here. So we can see where they came from. They found us on Google. We can see the duration of seconds that they were on each one of our pages, right? So we can see all 11 pages that they looked at here. And then if I come down here, I can see the individual pages, introduction to SMS. So if I figure out who this person is, the first thing I'm going to call them up and say is, hey, I see that you were looking at SMS on our website. You were also interested in campaign automations. And it just makes the conversation so much more easier because you already know what this person's interested in based on what they were looking at on your website and how long they were looking at that for. So right here is going to be a big one. They were there for 173 seconds, 175 seconds on the introduction to campaign automation. So, tracking all these anonymous visitors is a very good thing because as soon as this person ever signs up for one of our marketing lists, via web form, as soon as they submit a web form on our site for a demo request, it's going to tie all of this previous interactions or interactional visit history to that contact in CRM. And whoever gets that lead is going to be able to go in and see, oh, hey, here's not only are they from the University of New South Wales, this is their name, this is their job title, this is exactly how many emails they've opened, this is the pages they've looked at on our website, this is how many seconds they've been on each page for. So a lot of really cool data that you're going to be able to extract about the individual once you actually hook them with, either a web form or opening an email or signing up for a marketing list. So I hope that helped. That was something that was very important, so thank you for reminding me about that. Margaret, it is a tad big brotherish, but the reality is it's completely legal. We're not tracking people across multiple websites. We are only tracking where they came from and what they're looking at on our site. Now, as a distinction there, we can track multiple sites at once. So if one of our customers has let's say 2 or 3 different subsidiaries, that they're running 2 or 3 different websites under an umbrella company, but they just have one CRM instance, we can track across all 3 sites and differentiate those visits and those analytics between the websites. So, any more questions? That was a good one. But yeah, any more questions from anyone else? All right, everyone. Well, hey, I appreciate it again very much. We are about at our hour limit, so I will go ahead and let everyone go. Like I said, if you have any questions or if you need anything further, please let Margaret or myself know. We're happy to help with anything that you may need. But with that, yeah, everyone have a great week, and thank you again very much to Artist Group for putting this together. I really appreciate it, and hope everyone found value in it. So thank you very much. Have a great week. Cheers.